Hey guys, Mark again here with Atlas Worlds. I'm once again with Jake here doing our social distance thing. We're recording this from our Zoom calls, but we wanted to share some of the great progress we're still making on Atlas Worlds. And once again, I'm going to kick it over to Jake. Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're working on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So a big part of managing your D&D campaign is being able to collaborate and kind of work on your notes and putting together your whole story. So what we've been working on is essentially a system that DMs will already be familiar with, and kind of a system that will allow you to take notes, organize all of your entities together, and ultimately dive into it.
Okay, so we've been working collaboratively on the Red Foxes. I think that was one of the kind of character groups we've actually been working on. And this question has come up before from a couple people in both the Kickstarter and other resources, like what happens if I want to manage not necessarily an individual, but how can I manage a group of individuals?
Yeah, absolutely. So something kind of like the Red Foxes, right? That when you come here, they don't necessarily have a race, a class, or a gender. Um, those are all things that would be very specific to an individual. But we do want to be able to take notes on maybe a whole group of people all at once, right?
Right. The Red Foxes, of course, for our story, were more like a group of bandits, a group of like conniving individuals. And so they actually had multiple characters that we wanted to just kind of wrap into a single entity. And another thing that this kind of demonstrates is the flexibility of these entities to be more than just, I need one per character. By being a little more creative, you can actually get a little more for that. 25 characters you get for free.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we have been working on and are very proud of here is our document editor. So this is a very nice system that DMs should already be very familiar with. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into edit mode. Now I don't have anything in here quite yet, but we'll come back into this preview mode when we kind of wrap up. So let's go ahead and jump over into edit. And we can kind of see just right away that we have a very familiar looking document type system here. This is going to be something that you're very, very familiar with. Now, Mark, I believe we already had some stuff kind of set up and ready to go for this, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. This is something maybe even before we had this tool available to us, we'd worked collaboratively, whether it was on, OneNote or Google Docs or any of that kind of stuff, even some Word documents that we had put together. So how can we take the content that we have so far already done and bring it in?
Okay, yeah, sure. So let's go ahead and we'll just show over here. I'll drag this over. And we have just a Google Docs document here that we previously have been collaborating on, and we want to move this over into Atlas Worlds. So in order to do that, there's a couple of different things we could do. One, we could just simply copy it all, and then go ahead and jump into here and paste. And now as this is pasting in, that is going to be also uploading your images to Atlas Worlds, allowing you to manage those entity images and things of that nature over on this side of things as well.
Right, and that's ultimately why we're seeing this maybe take a minute or two, because there's, that particular document had multiple images.
Yeah, absolutely. So these cards here, images, Joanna, and as we paste everything in, we may have to come back in and do a little bit of corrective formatting. However, for the most part, we've kept the bulk of the formatting and the styling. Even the headers and things of that nature have really come across here in our Atlas Worlds document editor. Now, of course, some of the things that are really common, let's say that Mark and I, again, are working together on something, and I feel like this section right here maybe needs a note. So I can go ahead and drop in a new comment and talk to Mark. Go ahead and ask a question and say, what is this backstory?
So kind of in that collaborative mode, not only do I have this actual just my written content, but I can, similar to other applications, add commentary or add feedback on a specific thing. So I can kind of click and specifically say, oh, there was maybe a certain piece here or there. I've used this actually for kind of defining a character's accents, right? When I'm, even the specific idea of role-playing Devin, right? I might have said, oh, okay, let's let's circle back and rewrite this part, or let's identify maybe a little bit on, what is the accent of this character or whatever that might be.
Right. Now, little things like that are really helpful, especially when you're dealing with these like multi-character documents, is to be able to go ahead and create like bookmarks. So I could actually just right click here, or I come up to the top and I can insert a bookmark, which will just allow me to very quickly jump back into here. So this would be Devon and something like roleplay. And I can go ahead and add that. And now I have a quick access to jump. So if I get long into this document, something of that nature, I could very quickly go ahead and just go to that bookmark, and it's going to pop me right back up to where I previously was. So that's also a pretty nice feature.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are, the question had come up before too, like how much can I put into these GM notes?
Yeah, that's a good question. For the most part, they're nearly limitless. I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to actually reach any type of limit. Although, people may try. I don't know exactly. I can't answer that question. It would definitely be pages and pages and pages.
Right. I think obviously the purpose here is, don't paste an entire book here, because that more or less defeats the whole purpose of the application.
Yeah, it definitely does. Now, one of the things, and I don't know if we necessarily have this detailed out here, a lot of the times when managing different campaigns, a common section that I have put into my notes are my connections, right? Or how is Joanna tied to maybe different quests and things of that nature. With Atlas Worlds, we hope that you take advantage of our entity map and some of the other features that we've shown off, that this is no longer the only way, or even really a necessary way, to manage those types of relationships.
It's so great. So, we got this done. We're happy with it. And maybe we didn't even have the Google Doc before. And, we put a lot of time into our campaign pieces. And, I'm going camping. And so I want to be able to take this with me camping. So I want to be able to print it out. What are my options for exporting and printing at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this doc. Now, when I click the print icon up here, that's actually going to generate a print preview for us. And you can kind of look in here. Always just kind of double check and make sure that things look good. But for the most part, things should print out pretty much exactly how you see them on the screen. If you need to adjust your margins or things of that nature, you can also do that. We have a page setup thing here that will allow you to adjust your margins in and out. Very similar to how a Microsoft Word or Google Docs type of situation would look. You can even switch over into landscape mode. Again, there's a lot of different features here. Or let's say, for instance, you are just kind of needing to share this document a little bit differently. We've also provided the ability to export this entire document as a Microsoft Word document. So if you do that, that's going to actually download the Red Foxes docx and save that to your computer where you can open it.
Awesome. So now, ultimately, this is a great view, but what about during play? What is this going to look like when I'm actually using the app?
That's a good question. And again, you have quick things like jumping around to the different bookmarks. And one of the other things that we wanted to be able to do very quickly for all of our DMs is provide a way to jump between your different entities very quickly and look at their different document notes. So actually, if you come up here and you click on the Red Foxes, and this is maybe a little hidden feature, we may have to call this out a little bit more, but if I actually click here, I'm going to see a list of all of my different entities. And so very quickly, let's say I need to jump over into Captain Jim Skymark because we're about to interact with this guy and I need to just kind of have a little refresher. So if I just go ahead and click on this, it's going to take me straight over to Captain Jim, and right away, we've got kind of different stuff going on in here, but I can do that, and then I can go ahead and jump right back over to the Red Foxes if need be, and there's next to no load time, kind of just jumping between those different documents. Now, one thing go ahead.
I was going to say, how does this look in our preview mode for our GM notes?
Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and get out of editor mode, and we'll close that off, and let's go ahead and jump back into the Red Foxes, right? So I just do my quick search here, jump over into the Red Foxes, we open that up, and right away we can see that our entire preview section is here and ready to go. Now, what we've done is we've disabled editing from here because we want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of the actual editor when you need to actually edit this document. And so this is really designed to just be a preview. You can, of course, zoom in, zoom out. You can jump to different pages and kind of very quickly get to wherever you need to get to, just at a kind of a quick glance there.
All right. Well, awesome. I think that everything's looking really good. I think you might agree. Is there anything else you wanted to share about this?
So here's just one more feature that I really we want to kind of show off. Let's go ahead and get out of the red foxes and jump into just another one of our characters, maybe Tristana here. Now, Tristana, I haven't really started with anything, and maybe I'm kind of having a rough idea of what I want to kind of start with. So what we provided for our GMs is the ability to very quickly load in templates to just kind of give you a place to start, right? And so if I actually come here and I click on templates, now right now we only have one, but we do have several planned. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, Tristana is maybe not necessarily a creature, but I like kind of the format of this document. I can just go ahead and load that template in. And now I can come in here and actually edit just the features that I actually would need to edit. And we do support links out to different websites and things of that nature. So, maybe Dark Vision was one of the things that we wanted to call out. If I could actually control click on that, and that will jump me straight over to D&D Beyond, actually, a great website, great resource for kind of getting this extra information very specifically about Dark Vision. And so that was just one more feature that we wanted to show off in kind of a very quick way to build out your character profiles.
Yeah, is the Strength Dex Con, ultimately, maybe I don't use a D&D specific application. Are those fixed in there?
No, absolutely. You can come in here and let's say that you're playing something else. I believe the Star Wars system utilizes like will or something of that nature. And so we could, of course, convert that over to will.
Thanks again for taking some time with us, Jake, and walking us through what is getting a better and better look at what the Atlas Worlds tool is capable of. Hopefully you had a chance to see some of the things that you really had questions about and resolve some maybe concerns that you had. And if you have more, we'd love for you to give any kind of comments that we have on this video, and we'll certainly address them as soon as we can. That said, we are continuing to grow and releasing new videos about all the different things we're working on. I'll actually be on a podcast later this week, the Heroes Rise podcast. So check them out on your favorite podcast channel and listen to me. I'll be interviewing with them and chatting a little bit about the Atlas Worlds application if you want to learn more about it. We'll go ahead and put the link here at the bottom of the screen. We'll get that loaded in for you so you know where to find them. But otherwise, thanks again for contributing to our campaign and continuing to follow these updates and allowing us to put your worlds on our shoulders.